Luke Combs. Cold as you here this morning. It's sunny 101.9. It's 827, 66 degrees. 7-day forecast is up and coming. And we're looking at some kind of breezy morning out there this morning, too. East-northeast winds at 5 to 15, breezy. 66 degrees now. It's Dakota College of Botany time. And we have the associate producer, now you know, the associate professor of arts and humanities at Dakota College of Botany, Mr. Gary Albrechtsen. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Now, okay, tell me about what's going on. We've done these book read presentations before, and they're interesting. They're interesting. They bring the people of the community and the college together, and they talk about different books, different aspects of these books. And there is another one scheduled for soon.
Yes.
And what can you tell us about it?
The DCB annual book read has been in place for about 15 years, and it's a way for the college to do outreach to the lifelong learners and anybody in the community that's interested in the topic that the book is working with. And the book read is designed also to communicate and illustrate to the students and interested people off campus the campus focus on nature, technology, and beyond. And we chose this year My Backyard Jungle by James Barilla, The Adventures of an Urban Wildlife Lover Who Turned His Yard into Habitat and Learned to Live with It. Long title. Short title with a long continuation after the colon there.
Yeah.
And we were going to, there's a committee that meets once a month throughout the year and considers books, and we chose this one as the one that would best meet the needs of explaining the campus focus this year to our students.
And this could actually resonate with a lot of people in town and around the area as well.
Yes.
Which is a great thing, because it's what better way to get people interested in something like this than for a way to bring them all together with a common love and a common link.
Yes, he was the central idea of the book is the possibility of coexistence between humans and wildlife. And there's a wide variety of interactions that are possible that he talked about in this book, where he is talking about positive and negative interactions. There's a point in, he starts most chapters with quotes of some information, and he mentions in one chapter that in the United States, fruit and vegetable nut growers lose $146 million worth of crops to wildlife damage each year. Yeah. Deer, squirrels, starlings. And that's one aspect of a negative interaction.
Sure.
And he talks about positive interactions between people and animals and wildlife as well. I corrected myself and said wildlife rather than animals, because people have pets.
Exactly,
and
right.
There's the domesticated animals that people raise for a variety of different reasons. But wildlife, that's what his focus is, humans with wildlife. And he talks about a positive interaction. Down at Dania Beach in Florida, there's a group of monkeys that have been living there for, I believe, about 70 years. They were imported for reasons I'm not sure went into in great detail. And they're monkeys, vervets, I guess, is one of the names for them. And they and the human population in that area seem to get along fine. There's no conflicts with them, and they are concerned, people in the area concerned about humans feeding the animals, because humans can transmit diseases to animals as animals can to humans.
Exactly.
But that's one case in which it seems to be a positive coexistence between humans and animals. There was another that he mentioned down in Brazil. There's golden lion tamarins that were on the endangered species because of deforestation, which is their regular normal habitat.
Sure, yeah.
They were moved into some urban habitats, and they seem to be coming back to the point where they might be able to take them off the endangered list, according to what was reported in this book. Didn't turn out that way for other reasons. There was a fever that swept through the population in, I think, 2019, and they're back on the endangered list.
Sure,
but they do seem to humans and those golden lion tamarins seem to be able to exist in the same urban and suburban space.
Okay.
That is an example of those of that coexistence between humans and wildlife. There was a case that's more different, more complicated, when he talks about he went to India, to Delhi, and he talks about because of the cultural beliefs and some people see the monkey population that exists there. They talks about there's 10 different species that live in close proximity to human populations, and there are some people see the monkeys as nuisances. Some of them think they're dangerous, and some of them apparently see some kind of spiritual aspect, and they want to see no harm to them at all. And so there's these cultural considerations about how humans and animals could interact, and it's complicated in that particular case of the monkey population that he saw when he was in Delhi doing research for this book.
It's interesting you say that because we're talking about the coexistence of wildlife and humans, and then to see that the cultural differences there, because there's a little bit of fragmentation there between the humans themselves because of the wildlife.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I guess I hadn't thought about it that way. What can you tell us about the author, James Barilla?
James Barilla is a graduate of Macalester, and he is he did Master's in Science of Environmental Studies at the University of Montana.
Okay, very close.
He is did a PhD in English at University of California at Davis, and he is now faculty at University of South Carolina. He teaches creative and environmental literature in the Master of Fine Arts program. And we had scheduled him to be here on September 15th, but he's not going to be able to make that, and
Okay.
we're rescheduling for April.
Okay.
We'd hoped to have, we did have him here virtually on August 10th, where we talked about his new publication. It was in March 2021, NatureBot, and we were there. He was there for the full 2 hours while we were talking about it from his home in South Carolina.
Kind of a Zoom kind of a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. All right.
And we can accommodate people that would like to participate in that
Okay.
in that way. But he has 3 books published: West with the Rise, Fly Fishing Across America. I haven't read that. I couldn't tell you any more than what the title has to say about it.
Okay.
But the book read is talked about reading it in the near future. NatureBot, Unconventional Visions of Nature. He is talking about 2 topics in that book: biomimicry and bioinspiration. They're fields of study that's an interaction between, I understand, life sciences and technology, and people are trying to make machines that can move and negotiate through the world like some animals do. They're looking for a kind of a robot that have 4 legs that could walk through uneven terrain.
Wow.
And the biologists are evidently interested in doing this because they can learn more about the species that they study. But there's also a practical application. He points out in the book that people, if something like this could be developed to the point to be usable, these devices could move through a devastated landscape like Fukushima.
Sure.
And where you can't send people into there because of the radioactivity.
Yeah, like Chernobyl back in the day, right?
Yeah, and so you can do that with, and people have been studying bats. They're interested in the idea of using echolocation that bats use, and they're about the possibilities perhaps of putting those into drones so that they could negotiate through urban areas autonomously.
Okay.
So there's some really interesting things going on. And My Backyard Jungle is the second book, and it appears that he's very much interested in this idea of humans and wildlife together, and how we can use technology to mimic or be inspired by that that wildlife examples we work with as a way to create perhaps devices and new ways of thinking about this always evolving reality that we're living in.
So when again is this book read going to happen then?
The book read is going to, it's ongoing in classes. There's going to be, the composition classes are teaching it. And then we're planning to do a 1-hour lecture at noon and 7 on September 15th. And then we'll do it on a date in October and a date in November. And then we'll do 3 more in the spring semester.
Okay.
And we're working out the details of getting people to work with this. But we'd like to have people on campus and people from off campus, because everybody in the world knows how to use Zoom or something like it.
We do now. We do now. And there's no cost for this, right?
None
Just
necessarily.
show up and
We encourage anybody that's interested to come, and we're going to try and offer it. We do offer it 2 times, noon and 7, and come, and you don't need to read the book. Come and just listen to it, and if it sounds interesting, continue on. We'll have more events as the year proceeds.
Is there information on the website too?
It should be.
Okay. Fair enough.
I suspect it is. I haven't looked.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, you know what? We'll direct them to the website, dakotacollege@edu.com.
Very good.
Or dakotacollege.edu. That's what it is.
Yes.
dakotacollege.edu. So we'll send them there, and we'll have you back again soon. It was a pleasure talking to you, Gary. All right?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Thank you very much. All right. 8:38, Sunny 101.9. We have a 7-day forecast. Let's do it to it. It's brought to you by Monroe Builder Supply, Ace Hardware, and Rolla.
Did you know Monroe Builder Supply Ace Hardware features new and exclusive colors from quality Clark & Kensington paint and primer in one? Recently ranked as a best buy by a leading consumer magazine. This premium brand of paint is adding brilliant options you can only find at Monroe Builder Supply Ace Hardware. For all your painting needs, see the professional